welcome along and welcome back to Attingham Park. It is the first day of October and we've actually got quite far. We got all of the wheat field. Was it wheat or barley? I can't remember which. We'll go and check that in a moment. But we got all of that mulched and we got that done last time. I finished off the harvest that we had. So the sorghum harvest we had going on went well into the night and we managed to get all of that harvested though. So that is good news. I have also updated the crop calendar now. Seeing as we've got one crop left to harvest, the soybeans, and they are ready to harvest over there. In fact, we'll go park over this side here. So we've got the soybeans ready to harvest. They are over here. And so yeah, we're gonna get them. Their expected yield is fairly down, as most of our fields have been. So we're not expecting a huge amount off here, but we should get a fairly good amount. What have we got in here? I think it was barley actually. No, it is wheat. So we got 25,279 liters of wheat and 104,442 liters of sorghum, and the sorghum is gonna be worth a huge amount of money to us. If we have a look over here and at this, so at the moment the price of it is coming up to 735. It's gonna top out in January at nearly £1,000 per 1,000 litres. So yeah, we are gonna make a huge amount of money off the sorghum. So yeah, we are in a really good position. We're looking at probably getting the pigs as it comes into New Year and as we sell those crops. So I'm not hugely concerned about getting a third tractor at the moment. We're not in a position to set up for that. But we do have this sorghum field that is going to need some work done on it. I'm not immediately getting into the soybeans this morning because as we discovered on... Well, no, actually, I discovered it on Stone Valley, but that video ended up not going out on Sunday. Because of an audio issue. But I discovered with the Combine Experience mod, if we are harvesting this early in the morning, it slows everything down. It's too wet, and yeah, the Combine goes even slower. So we are going to be doing that. We're just not going to be doing that straight away first thing in the morning. Let's jump the hedge. Right, I'm going to go around it, because for some reason I jumped over to get there, but not back. And we are going to set up a hired worker doing this field. So into here, I'm going to have to give my countier a really good turning space. So what we're going to do is course play field work, field 12. We're going to generate a course. Working width is good, I think. Number of headlands, I'm going to give it 3 headlands. Starting on the headlands, turn in the corners. 7% overlap seems to be fairly good. Clockwise is good. Field center is up and down. Up-down direction. Now, we are going to go manual. And we're going to do it 90 degrees because that's the way we're working this field. We're also going to eventually cut this field into various bits. So, yeah, we'll do that at 90%. And generate me a course. There we go. So let's close that. So it's going to be a fair old while going through this field. So we want to get it started and just let it go. So let's come out of here. We are just ahead of there. We want to go first waypoint and away you go. And yeah, getting it to do the mulching on the headlands first tends to make sense, I think, especially on a crop like this where we've got a lot of stalks left. So yeah, we'll mulch the headlands first and then it will go around and it'll get the rest of the field done. And I think it's going to do fairly well. Meanwhile, we want to get set up for our harvest. Now, one thing I need to think about while we're here and while we've got an hour or so before we can start the harvest is what our pigs eat. Now, I think they might eat soybeans. So we're going to have to hold on to them. We've got no space left in our grain silos because we only have 2 silos, and as per my realism rules, I can only store 1 crop per silo. So we've got wheat in one and the sorghum in the other. I'm wondering, actually, do we have enough height in here? Yeah, I think we can store some crop in here on the floor and do the sorghum that way. We're going to eventually need a front loader tractor to sort that out. If we can't get the Zebra, I have got an alternative. So there's something that we can bring onto here, which again is an absolute classic. So let's get this down to the field. But I'm fairly sure that pigs do take sorghum as a food. Sorry, do take soybeans as a food. So I want to make sure that we were good for that. We'll get our 7810 over here. And then pop over and grab our combine. It's been pretty good on our setup up here to be able to get a good set of harvests in. It's pretty there was nothing to harvest in field 6 when we got it. But it's not too bad as it stands. We are going to come in with a lot of fields next season. And we do have field 12. Sorry, yeah, it is field 12. We've got field 12, which is just absolutely massive. And I can't see any way for me to farm that other than dividing it into 3 different fields. I think we're gonna cut that into 3 fields and sort of work that over a longer period. And one of the nice things about the new crop calendar is that we do get a longer window for harvests. So we've got a 3-month space to harvest. We've got longer to plant. We've got longer to plant as well. And it just means that everything will run that little bit smoother for us and give us a little bit more time with the smaller equipment we have. No sugarcane or cotton on here at all with the British calendar. So, yeah, this should be absolutely brilliant. Thanks to Disturbed for creating this and sending me over the links. Absolutely fantastic. And, yeah, we're going to have a good British setup on here. And we're going to be planting late October, November for some winter wheat, I think. When can I plant sugar beet? Yeah, so sugar beet will be New Year, and I do want to do some of that on the farm. We're going to need some of that to feed our pigs, and then we'll have a look. I think we're going to need, I'm probably going to do some sunflowers and maybe corn in the gardens, I think is probably the best way for us to go. So I think we're going to grow those separately. Right, let's see. The time is 8:37. Let's start up the header. There we go. Everything started up. And down with the header. And as per usual, we go round the first headland like this. And wow! This is quite a strain for this combine. 1 mile an hour. Is it because it's still quite dry, or is it just that soybeans have a? It's only a 8 ton per acre, but yeah, that's having quite a struggle with this. I think our moisture content is probably still a bit high. So we're going to leave that a few more minutes and come back to it and see if it improves. Maybe about 9:20, I think. It's with any luck, we should have our crops dried out a little bit. It is a nice sunny day, so maybe we'll be all right. Okay, it's 9:25, or it's coming up to 9:30. Let's start this up. Start up the thresher, start up the main combine. Still showing 353. Oh no, maybe no, it really is. It is just quite tough for this combine in the soybeans. I don't think we'll be using this combine again to do soybeans because man, that is slow as. While I'm all for added realism and combines moving at a more realistic speed while harvesting, This is possibly a little bit extreme. We're only getting a 64% yield off here. Certainly in this section of the field. And as a result, I would very much be worried when we come to larger yields as to how fast our combine will be able to move. So I might take a quick look at the settings for this mod, for the combine experience mod, because yeah, I think it should be moving a little bit faster than this, especially on not a full yield. We do seem to be getting a full yield on this end of the field, amazingly. I mean, that is suddenly jumped, and you can see up here. Wow, that is why it's dropping down to 1-2 miles an hour at this end of the field, because it is a really big yield that is coming off it. We're well into the green, so it's getting about double what we had otherwise. In fact, so here is expected yield of 64%. What have we got down the end here? So I think it's talking about, yeah, it's talking about the whole field, 64% yield. Whereas what we're actually getting with precision farming is a much higher yield at this end of the field. This is a 120% yield at this end of the field here, whereas the other end is giving us an 85. So we're getting a higher than expected yield, I would have said. That's really good. I'm actually very happy with what we're getting off the soybeans here. But this is why we're getting slow progress, and I think it might mean that we need to tweak this mod ever so slightly, just to make it not so much of a hard thing to get stuff harvested when you are getting a good yield like this. I think this is possibly the biggest farm I've ever started with on a start from scratch. I mean, we have a massive field over there in field 12. We've got this field as well. We bought field 1. We've bought field 6. By my normal calculations of trying to get myself in a good position with 5 fields, we're already looking at having 6 fields once we've divided field 12. So that is just a really, really good start. What it's going to take now is careful planning to make sure that we get everything off these fields that we need to make the most money. It's going to be quite a careful setup to do that. And to make sure that I've got enough time to do it. If we've got 3 days or 3 months of harvest window and we're looking at 6 fields, that means that we definitely need to do a field a day during that harvest window, and maybe just trying to extend things out a little bit and get things so that we're not in a position where we have too much overlapping. For example, if we have a look at what crops we can plant, if we're looking to plant some winter wheat and probably maybe some spring barley, then both of those have that harvesting window. Whereas if we were to also plant some corn, we've got a harvesting window for that there. Sunflowers, we've got a harvesting window for that here. Potatoes, sugar beet, you know, that extends our harvest from July, and in the case of sugar beet, all the way through to December. So it gives us just this longer time that we're able to harvest for and to get everything on these fields in. So that's what I want to carefully plan for and make sure that we can do. It's also the whole thing of planning so that we can feed our pigs. But as I said, I'm swiftly coming to the thought that the best way to handle pig food and be self-sufficient with pig food is to plant certain crops on the farm, and then what we'll do is we'll do most of the pig feed stuff. So maybe some potatoes, some sunflowers, things like that via gardens as we have the space for them, and just keep the pigs fed and ticking over that way. Another job we're going to need to do once we've got these fields cut and mulched is going to be getting everything scanned. We need to get a scanner on here, check what our soil types are, make sure that we are able to handle all of that, and yeah, make sure that we're good. We certainly seem to have a good set of soil at this end of this field. The fact that this is deep in the green, that we're getting 120% yield off this, is absolutely fantastic. So I want to sort that out and make sure that we get the soil done properly. We are 89% full, so we're going to have to empty on this row at some point. But that's all good. And yeah, that's not bad actually. We're looking at probably a tank and a half off this field at the end of the day, especially considering this end of it is the better end by the looks. And it'll be finished off fairly soon after this. Let's get our auger out. Now, the thing I want to test is whether we still have a manual unload now that we've got the manual discharge mod turned off. It might be part of Combine Experience, and that might be why we've been having that mod conflict. So we're going to get this up to 100%, and then we'll bring the tractor and trailer over and get it emptied. And hopefully it won't, well, hopefully it'll still be a manual discharge, and I can just sort out the key bindings so that it happens on my side panel instead of having to press a key to do it. Certainly it's fixed, though, with it turned, with the manual discharge mod turned off. It's fixed for hired workers, so that is all good. Combine is full. It didn't quite make it to the end of the row, unfortunately, but it's just about there. Right, let's pull this underneath, see if manual, see if it does have a manual discharge when you've not got a hired worker on it. No. Okay, so I need to find out what's up with manual discharge mod and why it's having that conflict, because I really would rather manually discharge the stuff from the combine than do it the other way, unless we have options in here for it. Doesn't seem like there are. No. So yeah, I think I need to look a little bit more into that. Let's start up the comb again, start up the thresher. We'll start up the header and start up the thresher. Pretty much emptied. There we go. All right. Not a huge amount left of this field to go. And we'll just clear it out and then we'll be done. Given the speed with which we're doing this field and how fast our other tractor, I think, is handling the handling field 12, I think I'll be all right with a 3 to 4 meter seeder on here. I had originally considered going for something like this. This is a John Deere direct seeder. It only requires 60 horsepower, and it is 6 meters wide and probably would work really, really well on this map. But I don't think it's overly realistic. Whereas something like this might be much nicer, sort of an 80s, 90s Iseria seeder instead. I think would be a good choice. But let me know what you think in the comments. What do you think we should go for? Or we could grab something like the Amazon, like the 4 meter Amazon seeder that I've used on a fairly regular basis. That would fit in with the right sort of time period for most of our equipment on here, and I think would work well for us, especially the 4 meter. We got the 4 meter wide 8. I think it's 8,000. That might work really well for us on here. So yeah, let us know what you think. Do you think we should go for something like that on here? Do you think a 3 to 4 meter piece of equipment would work well for us for that on here? Or do you think maybe a 6 meter direct seeder with that John Deere would be a better choice? Doing fairly well at the top end of this field. We're not slowing down too much. I don't really think we should be dropping below maybe 4 miles an hour. That's what I'm thinking about with this mod. You know, I'm chugging along at 6. I don't think will it go any higher than that across here. No, so 6 miles an hour is sort of the top speed I would expect to go. I don't think we should be slowing down to less than about 3 miles an hour though for particularly thick crop. You know, if we get a maximum amount of yield on here, I don't think it should slow down that much. Let me, again though, one of those things, let me know what you think. It's gonna slow us down a lot for doing stuff on here if we keep the harvester going that slow. Although, as I said, with our bigger crop calendar and possibly by spreading things out, we should be a lot better off. Bring this up the side, auger out, and empty into the trailer. So yeah, not even a full trailer off here. We need to go and wash this harvester though, which means we're going to have to go and buy a pressure washer. So let's get the auger in for that. And once I hear it go in, like so, we can turn it off. And we'll go get this, well, we'll go get this tipped in the shed because we've got no space for it in our silos. 8,801 litres in the trailer. Okay, fair enough. Let's get this reversed up then and get it tipped. And there we go. Into the corner here. Tip it up. And just leave these soybeans on the floor. That's the nice thing. Beyond the sort of the standard little areas that you have for storing stuff, so the silos and things, there's a very nice extra bit of space for tipping stuff on the ground. I always remember when we ran out of space in the silos on the farm, we cleared off a section of the yard and we then went and tipped it into there. Right, let's park this up. And this now is going to free up our 7810 to do some field work, which is great. Because going into the end of October and into November, we definitely want to be getting some of these fields ready. Right, let's turn this off and we'll head to the combine. I'm not going to worry about refueling the combine before we put it away. It's going to be sitting there for a year. It doesn't need a massive amount of repairs, although we probably will get repairs done. What I do want to do though is yeah, get it washed. Look at the state of that. So what we're going to have to do today is buy a pressure washer. What I need at the moment is my Landy, because we're going to go and hook the header trailer onto that. I do like this Land Rover. This is just a really, really great mod. And to have this on this setup just sort of puts the icing on the cake. You know, it's the cherry on the top of the bakewell. It is just absolutely perfect for what we're doing. Let's see if we can look straight back into reverse. There, that should do it. Oh, look at that, perfect. Right, so back that up and looking at it, which way round do we want to be? Yep, exactly this way from this road. So most of the time, the combine, we won't worry about where the taking the header off. It's start and end of the season, and when we're heading over to the other side, so sort of over to field 6, we'll need to take it on and off. But what we do need to make sure when we're planning is that we do plan for the minimum amount of having to do that. So we want to get it so that our header only really has to come off and get transported over to the other farm once, rather over to the other side of the river once, rather than splitting where we're doing fields. Right, where am I going to put a pressure washer? I think, looking at these sheds here, these seem to be utility sheds for the most part. So I can either put it there, or we can put it here near our workshop. And yeah, utility shed's definitely the place to put it. We'll put it this end of the barn here. So I want tools, and we're gonna go with the style overlaps with another object. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I'm not too worried about that. Is that trying to put it on my head there? If I bring this round, yeah, we can get it in this corner. In fact, we can get it in this corner and it'll work nicely. Right, so like that. 1,550. Perfect. There we go. Nice little pressure washer. And then we'll just bring our combine around and park it up here. Now, will this combine fit in our sheds? That's the big question I've got now. As we give it a good wash down. Oh, I do like this TR86. Fired Iron Modding has done a cracking job with these. A good 80s New Holland harvester is brilliant. And fits in right with the era that I'm trying to sort of recapture a little bit here with our equipment. Right, let's back this up. And then forwards. And we've got a little bit of wear now with our combine, now that it's got 5.5 hours on it. Right. I think, looking at this... This shed almost definitely will fit in. This one over here, I think, is less likely. This really is... Oh, no, it will. Yeah, okay. This really is our main equipment shed that I've tipped the stuff into. So this is where I want to put it. It's got a nice hard floor. And we're only going to put the soybeans on the floor here for a little while. Right, where is our landy? We want to park up the header trailer next to it once we've given the header a good wash. So let's take this up to our wash point over here. Park her up. And then hop out. There we go. Give it a good wash down. Yeah, just about reaches here. 20% damage. Yeah, well, what we'll have to do before we start off next season, next harvest, we'll have to get the header out, get the combine out, give them a good repair and setup and everything, and go from there. But that's looking much cleaner. And yeah, cleaning your equipment does help to reduce the wear and tear on it. So, well worth doing, as I've discovered. Let's bring this over here. And park it up next to our combine then. And this should mean our... Well, yeah, we might have trouble getting the combine out, but we should probably get the header out first anyway. And yeah, I do like this. This yard feels tight, but at the same time has plenty of room to maneuver. So it's quite a nice yard for that. That and that should do it, I think. How close did I get to that back wall? Oh yeah, that will do it. Perfect. So out with the landy and park it back up over here because, oh yeah, I need to wash my trailer as well. Hot landy here. And yeah, this is looking a little bit dirty after the harvest. Did I disconnect it? I did. And we'll give the tractor a quick wash down as well. Post-harvest clean is always a good idea. And we're just waiting. I'm just trying to see where our other tractor is. And you can see now why we need to do that field division. It's still going. It's still mulching that field. And it's going to be mulching that field for quite a while yet. There we are. So, yeah, next time I'm going to have to grab myself a plow. We're going to have to get field 1 plowed, ready to plant some stuff. I think most of the stuff we plant this year, well, we're probably going to end up planting a couple of wheat fields before the end of the year. So field 6 is almost there. I don't think that needs plowing. Let's just check. No, field 6. Oh, field 6 is full of weeds. Field 6 is cultivated and ready to go. It does have a lot of stones on it, but the majority of them are small. So that's not going to be too much of a problem. It is full of weeds, doesn't need plowing. We should be able to just go straight over there and plant wheat in that. So I might do that actually with this. So yeah, very important. Let me know in the comments, what do you think we should go with for a seeder? We're going to be looking at one for next time. And so I think that would be really good to have you guys feedback on that. And we'll go and see how that does. Let's go park the tractor up in the shed. And this, yeah, this 7810 has done really well. Right. Back it up. Park it up. And we have plenty of space for equipment in here. And a little bit of stuff on the bottom. Ah, the sun is setting. It is October. And that is where I'm going to end it for today. All that remains is for me to say thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, drop us a comment, and give it a share. Special thanks to all my patrons and channel members. Your support is invaluable in making these videos and helping the channel to grow. For more from Virtual Farmer, check out the links below, follow on Twitch to watch live, and for more videos, subscribe and ring that bell. I will see you next time. Goodbye.